Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. As per usual, before getting started, we're just going to be waiting a couple more minutes to make sure that everyone can join in with us today. And while we wait, if you can, please make use of the chat functionality you should have on the right side of the video player. And let me know in the chat if you can hear me and if you can see the software screen just fine. Feel free to let me know so I'm aware of whether or not you can hear me correctly. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting the first feedback. Can hear and can see you. Okay, that's perfect. Hello from Germany. Audio and video is fine. Hello to you too. All right. Hello from Switzerland. Can hear and see perfectly. Okay. Okay, that's perfect. Let's just wait one more minute so everybody can join. And then we can jump right into the new webinar. Hello from Denmark, from Sweden, Copenhagen, from Oslo. Whoa, that's nice. I don't know about you, but I'm always amazed at how so many people can connect from all over the world in such a short time with such ease. It's like it still amazes me sometimes. Okay. Okay, before getting started, I can see a question from Oliver. If you're having any kind of technical issue with the software version I'm presenting now, or perhaps a earlier version, please refer to our official help center where my colleagues will be able to help you better. Since I'm afraid we're not going to have the time to delve into technical issues you might be encountering at the moment. From Australia, Colombia, from Tokyo. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I think we can get started now then. So again, hello to everyone and welcome. Again, I am Stefano, your host for today's webinar. And today we are going to be diving deep into the latest release of Website X5, which is Website X5 version 2024.4. So now, whether you're a seasoned Website X5 user, meaning you've already had the chance to work with the software for some time, or perhaps you're just starting your website creation with Website X5, I just want to let you know that I'm positive that you are going to be getting a lot of useful inputs out of this webinar, whether you're an old user or a new one. Also, for those of you wondering, once the webinar is over, you will still have the chance to check out the recording of the whole thing directly on YouTube. And we're also going to have a little time to answer any questions you might have about the new features I am going to be presenting today. So that being said, I guess we can start and let's move on to the two main areas that get some serious love in this new release, which would be the blogging section and the e-commerce part of the software. So whether you're just interested in sharing your thoughts, maybe reviews or something like that with other users, or if you plan on selling your products online, this new version has got you covered with some very new interesting features. So let's start with the blog part. First of all, let's jump into step number 1, settings, and then we go over to the blog section. So the first thing I want to show you is under the options tab, and it's the reading speed. So as you probably know, in today's world, which let's say it's quite fast-paced, everybody is always in a hurry, a lot of people actually appreciates knowing how long some kind of task is going to take them. That's why in the newest version, we now have included this handy feature It essentially lets you display the estimated reading times for your blog posts. You have this bar over here. You can turn it down to slow or to fast. What this does essentially is get the content of your blog entries, check how big they are, and then also based on the reading speed you set here, the software is going to be generating a reading time automatically. So as you can see, it's very easy to use. The software just calculates the estimated time based on the length of the content of the blog entry, and then you can just fine tune that with the reading speed. So let's try this out. Let's go to map and let's open up the blog section. You can see right here that this little part displays now, which is the time in minutes and seconds it's going to take your user to read the entire thing. You also have it on the inside. So this is the first smaller new feature that comes with the blog section of the software. Then we can move on again in the blog section, always step number 1, under side blocks. Side blocks is actually something you had before as well. What has been greatly improved is the look of the side blocks. So you can see you have your preview of what they're going to be looking like here. Just going to launch the preview real quick. You can see this is what the side block look like. Now you can just go into the blog section. You can also click on the different elements you're interested in. And you can see right here that the settings change in real time, allowing you to fine-tune the aspect of the side blocks you're interested in. Let's say, for example, I wanted to change the font for this one. Perhaps I wanted to change the color for this one. Or maybe I wanted to change the symbol right here. I can just do all of that, and then click on preview. And you can see the difference right here. So again, this is a new feature which focuses on the style, on the look of the website, rather than actual functionality compared to the one before. This is more about looks, making your blog look good, because as you all know, the content, perhaps the content of your blog is already very, very interesting, but the look, the way some content is displayed is also very important in order for users to gain reliability towards your website, to be attracted by your website. And it's also more likely for them to spend more time on your website if it's good looking, rather than if you have just very good content, but which is displayed in a poor way. So that's all up for side blocks. The next thing I want to show you, we need to move to step number 3 under map. And then we're going to be opening up blog main page. So what I'm going to show you is something that you can get done in this section here, but in other sections as well. I'm going to be showing those to you in a second. So this other new feature again focuses on look. These are the cards, which are essentially these parts right here of the blog, a small preview of what the blog entry is going to be looking like. Once you click over the blog entry, you just get the full thing. But cards instead are the small previews that you get right here. So with the newest version, we've widened the selection of styles that you can get to present your blog entries. You can now pick from a different set of layouts, which are essentially fixed height, variable height, and masonry. Just gonna give you a little preview right here. If you use the fixed height, essentially every blog entry is going to be tall the same as the others. You can see right here that they all occupy the same kind of space. If you have variable height, of course, if one of your preview, perhaps it has a bigger image or maybe there's more text inside, the blog card might be a little taller. And then you also get the masonry effect, which essentially combines the different heights in a way where, even though, for example, the first article and the seconds aren't really as tall, so the articles right below are being reconfigured in this called masonry layout. You can see right here, it goes like this, which makes sure that your articles can be presented in a very good looking way, even though they might not have the same amount of content to them. Perhaps maybe you don't even have an image, but you still want these to look good. You can either use the masonry or the variable height. Just gonna show you what the variable height looks like. You can see right here, for example, you have these two, which are with these four, sorry, these four, which are almost as tall one with the other. Then you have this one, which is a little less tall than this one. But as you can see right here, there's no fitting the content in this vacant space. You just have a new line and stuff is already placed. Like the one is taller, the one is smaller. The layout is not going to be reconstructed automatically by masonry to fit the content in the empty spaces. So this is the difference between variable height and masonry. Then you have all of these options you had before as well. So these didn't really change. You can still change the text, the image, the style with which every one of these is presented. Now you also have the reading time, which you can enable or disable in case you don't want to show them. And also moving on to the next new feature. If we go to the news section, this is something a lot of you have been asking for a really long time, which is essentially this. Before, you had to create a blog page to be able to display your blog entries to your users. So your users had to navigate to the blog page. This is no longer the case because now you got this new object right here, which is article lists, which essentially allows you to integrate your blog entries straight into what we would call a normal page. So you can see this is a normal page built with the software, but now you can present your blog entries on any page as well. You can also get this kind of display with a slideshow, but you can pick among others. So that just open up this object. You can see right here that you have this whole new graphic, this whole new set of options, which essentially allows you to select what blog entries you want to display in this specific object on this specific page. You can choose between manual selection for your articles. So you can select the articles you want to show, and you can also limit the maximum number of articles to display. Oh yeah, you can also decide the sorting order, which can be custom, like this right here, where I can just change it. It can be by title. It can also be a random. So if you don't feel like showing the same order for your blog entries, you can also let the software decide what order to present them in. And then, except for manual selection, you also have the selection with filters. So you don't need to select which blog post you want to display in this object, but you can use a series of filters to have the software do that automatically. You can display them by category, by author. You can also limit the articles that need to be displayed to only the most recent ones. And again, you have the maximum number of articles to show. So now that I have selection with filters, we can start the preview again. You can see that the entries changed. And now we only have those articles with Jack as author. We can do the same with fashion, for example. You can see that you only get one, and it also changes the size so that it fits all of the space it has. Thanks to this new functionality, you also have the settings section right here that allows you to change how the articles should be displayed. with a slideshow like we just did now. You can also have masonry, fixed height, just like the other section we checked before. So let's put all blog posts again. So you can see that I selected masonry here right now. I can just start the preview, and there we go. You have the masonry effect for your blog entries on any page. Okay, that is about it for the newest blog features. So just to sum it up, reading time, which can be set for your articles to let your users know how long a certain article takes to read. The improved side blocks display, the new card layout for blog entries, the newest article list object, and the option to select the articles either manually or with filters. We can now move on to the other section which received some very important new features in this newest version, which is the e-commerce section. So let's start by moving to a page which has a product catalog object inside. The first thing you are going to be noticing as soon as you open up a project and then open up any product catalog object is you can see here that just the same as the blog object we just checked, you can now also display products here in the same way we just did with the blog entries. You have the manual selection with a sorting order, and then you have the selection with filters as well. You can show them by category. You can also show only the products which are marked as new products, discounted products, or maybe by availability. So just like for blog entries, you can just start up the preview and you're getting the result just like I'm showing here. Also, just like for the blog section, you have your settings and you can change the layout. You can have the slideshow like the one we just checked. You can have masonry, fixed height, variable height here as well. So essentially the way blog cards were improved, the product cards received the same kind of treatment. So you're going to have some much more powerful tools for deciding what products to display and how to display them. This not only goes for the product catalog object, but this is also true for the search page. So the search page is that one page which is automatically generated by the software, where you have a set of filters you can use, your clients, your customers can use to search your e-commerce. You can now do the same right here too, in a separate section. So step number 3, search page. You can now change the way the products are displayed in this section as well, with the same options you had in the blog and in the product catalog object. Also, the filters right here. Before, you could only select what filters you wanted to display. Now you have, again, many more tools which allow you to just click on the element you want to change, and you can see that the options change right here. So you can quickly customize the look of this based entirely on your preference. Also, one more thing worth noting in this update. Once you click on the cover image for your product, you have this new option called mouse over effect, which now includes a few more effects that the image of your product can take when you over them with the mouse. You can see right here that we've added these two little icons, which one of these is going to take you to the product page for the specific product in case you configured a product page. or this one right here, which just opens up the gallery bigger on the screen. So the button to go to the product page is going to be displayed if you created a product page for the specific product. While this button right here only appears if you enable this option right here, which is enable showbox link over image. If I were to turn this off, you can see that that one button no longer appears. This can be customized separately for the search page, as well for any page where you inserted a catalog product object. Last but not least, what I would like to show you about the e-commerce is a thing that, well, maybe not all e-commerce show this very clearly, but let me show you what I'm talking about. So, did you ever notice how sometimes on certain online stores, like Amazon, for example, you are shown the previous price for a product alongside the current one, saying you are displayed the price that the product currently has, but you're also displayed, for example, the price that the product had in the last 30 days. So, what we've done, we've introduced a new option in the product management section that lets you display the lowest price a product had in the last few days. This comes from a European regulation, which requires your e-commerce to have this. So you can just open up any product you want, go straight to the discount section, and if you have any discount enabled, you can also enable this option right here, which is show lowest price, which can then be configured. And if you go into preview and check your product out, you can see this is the way it gets displayed. You get the price that you wanted to discount, the currently discounted price, and assuming the previous price could be different, it is also going to be displayed right here. So for example, if in the last 30 days, this product was priced at 90, I can just change that here. Start the preview again. You can see right here that it says previous price was 90, then it went down to 70, and now it's discounted to 56. Okay, so with that out of the way, we can move to the final big change that came with this version of the software. So this thing I'm going to be showing you is maybe, I think it could be maybe more helpful for those of you who are used to working with codes as well. So we're going to be taking a look at something that makes use of custom codes. Let's go to any page like this one right here. I think would be okay. Let's see. We could get a different page like. Let's see. Okay, this one right here works as well. Okay, so you can just get any object, like for example, this one right here, which is a text object. You just select it with a single click. And then you can see that we've added a new button right here, which says code. If you highlight any object and then you click on code, you get this new section of the software, which allows you to straight up add any kind of CSS code you want specific to this object. You can see that it comes pre-built with the ID of the object, which, speaking in coding terms, this is a unique identifier for the object we are operating on. So you can just add any CSS directive you want. Click on preview, and you can see that the code you've written is being applied straight to the object that you've selected. Of course, for those of you who are making use of codes, keep in mind that whatever if you write right here some code that also affects other sections of your page, that is still of course going to be possible. But this is not the purpose that this section have. This section, this CSS code, supposedly is going to be used only for adding CSS style to the object you're working with specifically. So if you need to add any other kind of code to your website, please refer either to step number 3, page, properties, and expert section, or wherever else you plan on putting your code. So, with that said, I think this is about it for the main changes that this newest version brought uh, with Website X5 2024.4. So, if you have any questions at all about what I just showed you, feel free to ask them in the chat right now. In the remote case, I've been, of course, extremely clear and you have no questions whatsoever. Keep in mind that you can also contact either me or any of my colleagues through our official channels, which might be the Help Center at helpcenter.websitex5.com. You can call us directly to our phone numbers that you can find on websitex5.com. Or you can also send us an email if you have any questions about the newest version, about the pricing, about any kind of any kind of question you might have. Okay, let's see. An impressive improvement for your software. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. We are actually very proud of this newest update we just released. We are positive that the differences, that the features we've added are going to be very, very helpful in most website that everybody's building. I can see another question that says, what's the difference between 2024.4 Evo or Pro? So what I've showed you, essentially most of the changes to the blog and to the e-commerce section are strictly related to the pro and the agency version. So the cards for the product, the search page customization, also the filters and the sorting order for the catalog, for the product catalog, is something which is there only for the pro and the agency version. Everything you've seen for the blog articles, meaning the card layouts, the side blocks, the new article list object, as well as the reading time, all of those features are going to be available also in the Evo version. So you're going to be finding them straight up into the software as soon as you update your version. Okay, I don't think I'm seeing any more questions, so I think we can leave it at that. Okay, so I'm just going to thank you for participating in today's webinar with me. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for sticking with me till the very end. And that being said, I wish you a pleasant day and hope to see all of you to our next webinar. Have a great day.